The NFL playoffs, oh yes, where the best compete against the best to decide the greatest single team of the calendar year. As history has often demonstrated, the NFL playoffs are where legends are born. While fans prefer to believe that only the top teams enter the playoffs, this is not the case. In truth, some of the worst teams in history have made it to the postseason. Let's take a look at a few of them. First up, the 2016 Houston Texans. The Houston Texans signed Brock Osweiler in 2016 to boost their Super Bowl odds. He helped the Denver Broncos win a ring as the starting quarterback the year before. He was possibly the worst free agent signing ever. Thanks to a bad AFC South, the team made the playoffs at 9-7. Despite a 49-point deficit, they beat the wounded Oakland Raiders. The following week, they lost badly against the Patriots. Next up, the 2020 Washington Football Team. The 2020 Washington Football Team was amazing. Alex Smith returned from a broken leg, and Ron Rivera battled cancer to lead the squad to the playoffs. The strong defense helped the team win the NFC East at 7-9. In the playoffs, the team lost Smith again and turned to backup Taylor Heineke. The team lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers despite a good backup quarterback. Next up, the 2014 Carolina Panthers. Ron Rivera took Washington to the playoffs in 2020 despite a poor record since he'd done it before. 6 years ago, he led the 7-8-1 Panthers to the postseason, and they won because the NFC South was abysmal. They concluded the year strongly, winning 4 straight. After beating the Arizona Cardinals, they lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, the 2010 Seattle Seahawks. The 2010 Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs despite a losing record. Thanks to a bad NFC West, they made the playoffs despite a 97-point deficit. Matt Hasselbeck and Marshawn Lynch made the playoffs. In the first round, they beat the defending champion New Orleans Saints 41-35. Seattle fans' cheers for a Marshawn Lynch touchdown caused a mild earthquake. Next week in Chicago, their season ended. Next up, the 2016 Detroit Lions. The 2016 Detroit Lions were once contenders. At 9-4, the team had an absolute meltdown and lost 3 straight games. The squad did make the playoffs at 9-7 with a 12-point deficit. Even though Matthew Stafford tried his best, the team lacked passion and identity. In 2006, the Giants lost their only postseason game 26-6 to the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, the 2020 Chicago Bears. Some thought that the Matt Nagy, Mitchell Trubisky-led 2020 Chicago Bears were peaking at 5-1. They displayed weaknesses quickly. After losing to the Green Bay Packers in their final game, they finished 8-8 and snuck into the playoffs. In the first round, they lost 21-9 to the New Orleans Saints, and their lone touchdown came in garbage time. Trubisky was dismissed after the season following the loss. Next up, the 1999 Miami Dolphins. The 99 Miami Dolphins are renowned for their postseason loss to the Jags, 62-7. They weren't a fantastic team though. The Dolphins finished 9-7 after beginning 8-2. They won one of their last 6 games and had a negative 11-point differential. Dan Marino's regular season was also bad with 12 touchdowns and 22 turnovers. Next up, the 2004 LA Rams. 2004 was the end of the greatest show on turf era for St. Louis. Mike Martz was still coaching, but Torrey Holt and Marshall Faulk were older. They ended up 8-8. The team had a 73-point deficit. They started the playoffs with an upset win, but lost 47-17 to the Falcons in the divisional round. Next up, the 2011 Denver Broncos. Tim Tebow's touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas in overtime to beat the Steelers in the playoffs will be remembered forever. The play rewrote the team's history. Tebow had early success as a starter, but the team lost their final 3 games and finished 8-8. They had a negative 81-point differential. What about their miraculous postseason run? It's forgotten. The Patriots ended their season by 35 points. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a video. We'll see you guys next time.